Well, hello again. Welcome again to another episode of Down to Earth but Heavenly Minded. I'm your host, Irv Rish, and we're looking at the textbook for life, the Bible. And truly, what we're looking at is things that happen in people's lives. And remember what I said at the very beginning, that God is the same today as He was yesterday, as He'll be tomorrow. And He works with people the same way. So we can learn a lot from history and from times past. And today we're going to be in chapter 26 of Genesis, and we're going to be looking at the promises to Isaac. Now, if you remember, God made a covenant with Abraham, and these promises that are being made now to Abraham's descendants follow right along with the covenant that was made back a few chapters. So, with that said, let us just read through this chapter. Now, there was a famine in the land, besides the former famine that was in the days of Abraham. So, we're seeing that there's famine again. And Isaac went to Gerar, to Abimelech, king of the Philistines. And the Lord appeared to him and said, "Do not go down to Egypt. Dwell in the land of which I shall tell you. Sojourn in the land, and I will be with you and will bless you." This is a promise. "For you and your offspring I will give all this land, and I will establish the oath that I swore to Abraham your father, and I will multiply your offsprings as the stars of heaven, and I will give you offspring all these lands. And in your offspring all the nations of the earth shall be blessed, because Abram obeyed my voice and kept my charge, my commandments, my statutes, and my laws." And now we come to Isaac and Abimelech. "So Isaac settled in Ger, where the men of the place asked him about his wife, and he said, 'She's my sister.'" Wow, this sure sounds familiar, doesn't it? Yes, he's following right in the footsteps of his forefathers. "For he feared and said, 'My wife,' thinking lest men of this place should kill me because of Rebekah." Rebekah was also a beautiful woman. "Because she was attractive in appearance. When he had been there a long time, Abimelech, king of the Philistines, looked out a window and saw Isaac laughing with Rebekah his wife. And Abimelech called Isaac and said, 'Behold, she is your wife. How then could you say, she is my sister?' Well, Isaac said to him, 'Because I thought, lest I die because of her.' Abimelech was in this. Abimelech said, 'What is this that you have done to us? One of our people might easily have laid with your wife, and you would have brought guilt upon us.'" So, the one thing about the scripture, people realize that it was wrong. And today, people just don't believe that, sleeping with another man's wife is wrong. It's going on all over the world. We see how sin is so prevalent in our day. Well, anyway, he says one of the people might have slept and be guilty. So Abimelech warned all the people, saying, "Whoever touches this man or his wife shall surely be put to death." So he realized that this was really sin and shouldn't happen. "And Isaac sowed in the land and reaped, and all the same year 100-fold. And the Lord blessed him, just like the Lord had told him he would. And the man became rich and gained more and more until he became very wealthy. He had possessions of flocks and herds and many servants, so that the Philistines uh, envied him. Now the Philistines had stopped and filled with earth all the wells of his father's servants, and dug in the days of Abraham his father. So they were trying to destroy what he had. And Abimelech said to Isaac, "Go away from us, for you are much mightier than we." So Isaac departed from there and encamped in the valley of Gur and settled there. And Isaac dug again the wells of water that had been dug in the days of Abraham his father, which the Philistines had stopped up uh, after the death of Abraham. And he gave them the names that his father had given them. But when Isaac's servant dug in the valley and found there a well of spring water, the herdsmen of Gerar quarreled with Isaac's herdmen, saying, "The water is ours." So he called the name of the well Hezek, because they contended with him. Then they dug another well, and they quarreled over that also. So he called the name Sinar, and moved from there and dug another well, and they did not quarrel over it. So he called it uh, Rehoboth, saying, "For now the Lord has made room for us, and we shall be fruitful in the land." For there he went to Beersheba, and the Lord appeared to him in the same night and said, "I am the God of Abraham your father. Fear not, for I am with you, and I will bless you and multiply your offspring for my servant Abraham's sake." So he built an altar there and called upon the name of the Lord and pitched his tent there. And there Isaac, uh, servant, dug another well, or dug a well. Well, as we go through these stories, I don't want you to get confused. I sometimes say things that seem to be off track a little bit here. We in the last chapter we had uh, the birth of the twins, Esau and Jacob, and but the story actually came back to Isaac in this chapter, and I think I might have said something about the two boys, the twins, and how Jacob was really a conniver. Uh, I didn't want you to think that I was talking about Isaac, but Isaac builds an altar here to the Lord, so he's following in his father Abraham's footsteps, uh, and he's worshiping the true God. And as we get into the life of the twins, the Esau and Jacob, it seems to go in a kind of a different direction, but this is following the same line from Abraham, who is truly the father of the Jewish nation, the Israel, and later on Jacob will be renamed, and we'll see that as we go along. I don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves here, but we see here that Isaac is really following in Abraham's footsteps, and so I think I'm just going to leave that there, and we're going to move on in our next chapter. So with that said, I think we'll just end our session today. And some of these chapters are really very enlightening, and we hear the repeat of a lot of names in a lot of territories, and every name in the Bible means something. Even the name of these wells that were named in this chapter, and there are reasons why back in biblical times names were given because they really meant something. And today we give names to our children not thinking what they really mean. And when we choose a name, we probably should be thinking of that. But yeah, it's kind of interesting as we go through the scriptures, we learn things like this. So with that said, I'm going to end our session for today, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.